welcome to this presentation about our Research Masters program. My name is Suzanne Jansen. I'm a professor of Sociology of Media and the Arts. I would like to tell you a little bit more about our program. Let me give you a few program features before my colleagues will tell you more about the program. I should point to one of the features of our program. It's an inter-faculty program, so two different schools, the Faculty of Social Sciences and the Erasmus School of History, Culture and Communication are working together in this Research Masters program. So we have people from Sociology, people from Arts and Culture Studies, and also people from the Department of Media and Communication, all contributing to this Masters program. It's a program which is focused on research and training for research. You will learn a little bit more about that soon. It's a very intensive program. It's small scale, like I mentioned before, which implies that these things taken together, intensive and small scale, means that you really have to be very motivated and very willing to devote your time and energy to academic stuff, to reading, to writing, to discussing about the state-of-the-art literature. That's a test you could do for yourself is, well, think about for instance, your bachelor thesis project or essays you had to write in your previous program. If that's the kind of thing you enjoy and really enjoy, and if you like to dive into issues and learn more about all kinds of research topics, well, then maybe this master is also something for you. The nice thing is that the faculty really loves to teach in this program. So I give you an overview of our staff who is involved in this program somehow, either by teaching the core courses or elective courses in this master's program, and also by supervising as the thesis supervisors for our students. As you can see, it's a very interdisciplinary and diverse group of people. I think, well, there's a lot of discussion nowadays about the gender balance, for instance, at the university. Well, I think that we have, well, perhaps the most perfect gender balance in our program, 50-50 in all types of positions, as you can see. The nicest thing is maybe, and that's not on the slide, is that our students are even more diverse in terms of their disciplinary background. And that's really something which enriches our program, that we have people coming from different backgrounds, coming together, all bringing their own knowledge, their own insights to the table. And that makes it a really exciting program, in my opinion. I give now the floor to Mark Verpoort, who will tell a little bit more about the actual content of the program.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. So just a little bit to give you an idea of what kind of courses you will take and how the 2 years will look like, because it's a 2-year program. The first year offers a lot of courses which are the same for everybody. So we want to give everybody the same basic background. Like Suzanne already mentioned, not everybody coming in the program comes from the same bachelor program. So we think it's important that everybody has a common ground. And that's what we aim to realize in the first year. There are a couple of core theoretical courses which offer an in-depth overview of in a particular field. For instance, cultural sociology, which really offers all the different kind of perspectives in the field of cultural sociology and key texts within that field. Sociology of media and the arts is, on the other hand, more specific. It's also more about contemporary research articles. So it's a mix also between classic texts and more current, very recent research articles that just have been published. And the idea is that you will read a lot in all these theoretical courses. You will discuss this with your fellow students, with the lecturers. It's an intensive course, but it's a lot of fun because you get so much new insights. So that's the theoretical part, and then there's also, during the first year, more of a methodological line, I would say. So really the research methods. You can see here the research design, the advanced quantitative methods, and the advanced qualitative methods. So every term you will also get training in methodology, because doing research is also about, not just about thinking, about theory, but also about making observations, of course, about doing empirical research. And that's what these courses offer. At the end of the first year, there is the research traineeship. And that basically there you get, for the first time, you will do real research, hands-on research. This is done in collaboration with one of the lecturers. So what you, and in a moment Willem will say a little bit more about that, so I'm not going to too much into detail now, but it builds up, first year basically builds up to the research traineeship. Then the second year is much more individualized. So whereas the first year gives you common ground basically for everybody, the second year is more individualized. In the first 2 terms you have the opportunity to study abroad. So you're already of course thinking about it in the first year to plan where you're going. I'll say more about it in a moment. And in the last 2 terms you will write your master thesis project, and you will follow the research master seminar. The research master seminar is a more practical course which prepares you on the academic world, academic environment. For instance, we talk about how to present your research at a conference, or what is it like to publish in a journal, or what about research ethics, what should we think about. These things which not really about theory, about method, but more like how do academics function, basically. Like I said, Willem will in a moment say more about the traineeship and about the master thesis project, but it's good to say maybe a little bit more about the study abroad, because we think it's a very important part of the program. We very much encourage students to go abroad and to find a nice place somewhere to study there and to experience new lectures, new topics. We think it's important for a number of reasons. First of all, if you do this program, you're probably preparing for a research career. That's one of the main things that people prepare for, and that's internationally based. Doing research in academia is really, you should have an international outlook. So it's important to also know other universities and to see more of the world, of the research world. Of course, it's also very good to simply broaden your horizon in terms of the topics that you're interested in. Because maybe in the first year, I think you will like the first year, but even if you miss something, there's the opportunity for you to go abroad and to find more. Because there is of course more, there's always more. And you can select the place where you go to, and you can select the courses that you take over there. So broaden your horizon, getting different courses, seeing different lecturers. And also our program is internationally based. We very much encourage a cosmopolitan outset. So we think it's also important to see something of the world, basically. And we have a lot of different partner universities, so there's a lot of options out there. The past years people have been, for instance, to give a couple of them, the University of Leeds. Actually the student who went there was so much enjoying it and had so much good contact with the people over there that she in the end got a job after graduating there, so it's very nice. But also Sweden, University of Lund, Berlin, the Free University, but also out of Europe, Calgary, people have been to, even someone who went to Chicago. There are a lot of options, and we can always discuss possibilities. We have a lot of different partners, as you can see. So, study abroad is an important part. There are 2 other important parts: the traineeship and the research master thesis. And Willem will tell you a little bit more about these parts.
Thank you. Yes. Well, the traineeship and the thesis have in common that they are about you doing your own research project with different degrees of independence. And because we have a very broad staff with scholars with backgrounds in media and communication, arts and culture studies, and cultural and political sociology, you are always able to find a subject and a research project that fits your own interests. So you're not forced into the research interests of the staff members, but staff members offer a wide array of possibilities and students are able to select based on their own interests from these possibilities. And The subjects are diverse and the methodology is diverse as well, reflecting the entire contents of the research master program. Here is a list of projects that have been studied as research master thesis. And as you can see, it is quite broad. It is broad thematically with a broad conception of media, culture and the arts, and it is broad methodologically. Now the research master traineeship is less independent than the research master thesis. There's a stepwise logic underlying this. In the traineeship, you are thoroughly guided in researching based on a research question that has been formulated by one of the staff members, but you will conduct all the steps of the research project yourself, of course, closely supervised by one of the staff members. So literature review, data collection or design of the study, data analysis and writing of a research report, quite often in the format of a research article, and it is not uncommon that the papers written in the traineeship are actually published in international academic journals. So here you are very closely supervised, and then the research master thesis in the second year is a little bit more independent. Here you are required to formulate your own research question instead of taking the research question of your supervisor as a starting point. You do your own research independently, but again, of course, you are supervised by one of the staff members. And I think the research master traineeship has an additional advantage that you are socialized as a member of the academic community, because you are here in-house with us, with an office space. You participate in the academic community, not only doing your own research, but also going to seminars, for instance, common lunch meetings with staff members. So you really get a feel for how it is to be a member of the academic community, and to get a taste of it and to get to know whether this is something for you or whether you would prefer a career outside academia. And then I think what they have in common, the traineeship and the research master thesis, is that they both provide you with a stepping stone into academia, because it is of course a competitive environment and it is not always easy to obtain a PhD position. But I think in part because of this design that you write research articles already as part of your studies, which are quite frequently published in academic journals, you have a head start compared to students who follow other academic programs. And I think this is part of the reason that very, very many of our students have been able to obtain jobs as PhD candidates at various universities. So that's what the traineeship and the thesis is all about.
Thank you. I will continue with what happens after you have graduated from our program. This picture was taken in September when we had our annual graduation ceremony, and when a group of students all graduated successfully. Well, this gives you an idea of where our students, our graduates have ended up thus far. We have over 50 graduates right now. And I'm happy to say that the majority of those graduates, more than 50%, has continued with a PhD research project in different places. But as you can see, and that's of course also perfectly fine with us, a number of students, they prefer other jobs, they prefer to work outside of academia. And also these people find that the fact that you have done a research master's gives you a head start in other types of positions. So if you're interested in for instance, policy or policy research, then a research master's program, our research master's program, appears to be a very good preparation for such a position. Also in more commercial jobs like marketing and market research, a number of graduates work in that field. We have people working in journalism, we have people working in consultancy. So the range of work fields and the range of positions you could obtain with our program is quite wide. A little bit about this is about the PhD students. Remember that at the beginning of this talk I mentioned that our students come from different backgrounds, our staff has different disciplinary backgrounds, our program is multidisciplinary, And what we can see is that that translates in the PhD positions our students obtain. It's not that they can only stay here with us at Erasmus University, at our departments, many of them do, but we also find that our students go elsewhere even. So that's very interesting. For us it's also, we're very proud of that fact, because it means that we give our students apparently a solid base to do research, PhD research, in a wide range of study fields. Here you have some examples of the students who take other positions. One of our recent graduates became a researcher at the Dutch Ministry of Security and Justice. Another student started working for an NGO. She became head of external affairs of the Institute for Humanitarian Development. So you can see business analyst, a data integration developer. So these types of positions are very diverse, as you can see. So we like the fact that many of our students continue with a PhD position, but we equally like the fact that so many of our graduates are able to find a job outside of academia. Application, I will be very brief about this part. Most of the information about application, if you're interested, you can find on the website. The only thing I would like to draw your attention to is that apart from the admission requirement and information for our 2-year program, we also offer the option to students who have done a 1-year master program to do a bridge program. I'm not sure if anyone of the students who is here right now has done already a 1-year program. Okay, yes. So yeah, depending on the field of study and your results in that 1-year program, there is this option to do an abridged program of 1 year.